Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome yourselves to Team Fortress TV. Today, we will be covering the lower bracket final of this Premiership division. This is going to be tf2easy versus NOOBPANZER. This is the decider who goes in the finals against Witness Gaming. These two teams come from a bit of a different situation. One team coming from the lower bracket finals, winning against CSG in tf2easy, and then Witness Gaming dominating NOOBPANZER to send them right into this losers bracket. But that doesn't matter now. What matters is who can win this game. And bringing you your coverage is Beta on the production, and it is going to be Bum on the other mic. How are you doing, Bum?
I'm doing good. Obviously, an exciting rematch from the regular season here. NOOBPANZER winning both maps out in the regular season in a very close fashion. But can they replicate it tonight? tf2easy, obviously, being the favorite over the last year of TF2 in this matchup, at least, always being that second best, I suppose third best last season. Lol. But always up there as one of the best teams in Europe, but knocked down this season, taking some losses left and right to different teams. But they are back into this lower bracket final, and I'm sure many people will have them as the favourites to get back out on top and meet Witness in the finals here tonight. So the roster is going to be June on Medic, a new addition since Auto got snagged by Witness. Nasboy, as ever, on Demo Man, Josh and Nubby Soldiers, and Morale and Yeehaw on Scouts.
Yeah, really, really good roster. Nikki, also a new addition this season after Gazzy did depart the team into retirement, quotes unquote. He's managed to come in and murk a couple of maps here and there, but yeah, has not been playing for this squad. So Nikki, a bit of a new addition here, is kind of trying to find that weird space that that Gazzy had before. He was known to be a really big playmaker, known very much for his off-class and prowess, especially on the Pyro, and just managing to get great flanks. But now Nikki not really fitting that role as well, going more of as a traditional flank scout role, just supporting on the flank, just sending Nubby into having to go for these crazy, crazy plays. If it might be on spy, sniper, or just going for some crazy bombs, Nubby has been playing so well this season. It's impressive to see a Roma on above a 1 KD. So yeah, he's been having a really good season actually, but you don't expect much less from him there. Any star players for you in this roster, Bum?
Well, obviously Nubby is the one to point out. He's always been the playmaker for TF2easy when it's really mattered in those LAN matches in particular. Nubby's always the one leading the way on that. And Josh hasn't really always been the star player of the roster, but Josh was playing very well yesterday, which is a good win condition for TF2easy if they want to make it into the finals. But let's look on the other side. NOOBPANZER, obviously the team they're up against. Do you want to run us through these guys?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll start off with the medic again. It is going to be Piggles. I think is he a debut into Prem?
No. Had a couple of seasons with the Wizards Guild a while back, but this is definitely his first time on the top team, and he's definitely showing that he deserves to be here so far.
Yeah, he's absolutely showing his prowess this season. Has been playing incredibly well in some of these games. Has been, I think, maybe the most slippery medic this entire season. Getting some amazing stuff, some amazing milks. He's been playing really, really well. And then following up onto the demo man, we do have Joe, who absolutely dominated the game when TF2easy and NOOBPANZER did play in season. So watch out for him. The soldiers will be Puck and Disky, Shocky and Voxtech finishing out on the scouts here, Bum.
Yep, and Puck is Hugo, for those of you who recognize that name a bit better. Many seasons of Prem experience. But in terms of the 1v1, as you mentioned, I think Piggles has been the slipperiest medic this season. I think we have some stats to show where Piggles is actually the lowest deaths so far in Premiership overall, just getting that lowest average deaths per map, which is super important. Every time he has been hitting some crazy surfs to get out of situations, and June obviously was up there as a really great medic last season, but this season I don't think she's been showing that same form, and particularly in their regular season game, there was some pretty crucial drops which probably changed the outcome of a map there on their regular season game. So Piggles has definitely been impressing. June, though, yesterday, much better performance. 1 kill to Connor's 10 in that official. So if June's back on top, then this could be looking a lot better for tf2easy.
Yeah, absolutely. It might be some slight teething problems with the team. Coming into a new team, it can always be very different. I was playing on a very different team last season compared to how TF2 Easy plays. But obviously, June, a great medic, and I'm sure she can, impress today. When the tension's high, obviously we've seen that she can, come up clutch. Not so much for Pickles. I think this might be his first time this high into the season. So he might, be a little bit nervous, but actually, I met this man at LAN. I do not think he
Yeah,
has nerves. I think he's very confident all the time. So I don't think he'll play any differently. But I think these medics can have a really good match up during today. But we'll see if Piggles can slide his way into a victory.
yeah. As you mentioned, Piggles obviously his first time this high up in the Prem rankings, but at LAN, obviously bring that top 3 home at Arcadia with Puck, one of his teammates from this season as well. So yeah, I doubt he'll be showing many nerves coming into this match. But there is another pretty crucial thing we need to talk about tonight, which is the map vetoes. Obviously, best of 3 here tonight rather than a regular season best of 2, and they have all the 9 maps to pick from. And the maps we're going to be playing are Sunshine, then Bagel, then Metalworks. And I can't help but think that tf2easy might have just won this in the veto.
Yeah, it seems like a super dominant map pick selection for them. The maps that we saw on the head-to-head in season against these guys was Snakewater, which was a 5-1 towards NOOBPANZER. So obviously feeling themselves on that map. So I feel like they insta-ban that on the side of TF2 Easy. I would not be surprised. And then they only just won out Gully Wash 1-0, which is actually usually a staple map for TF2 Easy. So really good from NOOBPANZER to edge that out. They have not been looking great in season on it. They've been looking quite shaky, whereas TF2 Easy had a bit more experience on it. 5-0 against Swift on it. And then I think there might be another one I might have up here. No, it seems like that's the only one I have up at the moment. But they looked super, super dominant on that map. So maybe they were not so confident about winning that matchup a second time on the side of NOOBPANZER. But then we've gone to Sunshine, where neither of these teams have actually played a crazy amount here. It seems like it's only a couple matches on both sides where NOOBPANZER managed to 5-1 against Natty Noob, but that was our bottom of the table kind of team, and then only won it 2-0 against Swift, which actually was the same result TF2 Easy got against Swift.
Yeah, this is the thing about having the pick ban in the regular season. We don't really have the knowledge to go off. We haven't seen these teams play on every single map. In fact, when we do go to Bagel, our second map, that's going to be the first matchup for both of these teams on Bagel in the season. So there's a bit of a question mark there as to who's going to be better on Bagel, but I think I'm going to favor TF2 Easy out on that one. I don't think NOOBPANZER are big fans of Bagel at all. Sunshine, as you mentioned, they've both only played it once in this season, 2-0 versus Swift for both of these teams, but I think historically TF2 Easy looking pretty good on Sunshine, and I think if it gets to Metalworks, I think that's a safe bet on TF2 Easy. They pretty much love Metalworks. It's always the map that Witness worries about getting versus them. Obviously, Witness pretty much having a Metalworks permaban and TF2 Easy being pretty decent on it. So I think Metalworks, I favor TF2 Easy. I think probably all 3 of these maps I kind of favor TF2 Easy. It's a rough one for NOOBPANZER, with I think TF2 Easy just being around that bit longer, having a deeper map pool. TF2 Easy, basically, they instantly banned both of the maps that they lost to NOOBPANZER in the regular season, I think. And then from there, it's an uphill battle for NOOBPANZER to get maps that favor them out of the veto, I think. So it's going to be a close one. It's going to be very interesting to see if NOOBPANZER can actually win this one again with those 2 maps removed from the pool.
Yeah, I think it really relies on them winning Sunshine here on the side of New Panzer to keep them in the runnings. As you were saying, TF2Easy super good on Metalworks. I believe I did actually cast the Metalworks game that they played, that New Panzer played against the Frenchies, and it was a close game. It was a messy game. It was a grueling game. It was not a game that you could tell they were going to win. They only won it out 3-2 in regular time, but I believe it was a last-second back cap. It was just the Frenchies misplaying their aggression around point, and I do not think they won through them playing particularly well. I think it was more mistakes on the Frenchies. And on another side, another game I did cast was when Swift played TF2Easy on Sunshine. While it was a, like you say, close game, looking at scores, it was only a 2-0 win for TF2Easy. They were in control the whole time. There were very few times that it really looked like Swift had any chance of pushing their last. They just had such a clean last defense. They were constantly round resetting when they did get pushed to last. And yeah, they just looked like they were playing ideal TF2 overall. So it's going to be a tough one for New Panzer, but they showed they have the pedigree to bring something out here. So if they can do really well on this first map and bring it to Bagel, which I would assume that New Panzer would pick here, Bum, by the looks of these map picks, it could go to the whole distance.
Yeah, I believe it is New Panzer picking Sunshine, TF2Easy picking Bagel. So, yeah, probably not what you had expected, but I think it makes sense with what the bans were initially. I suppose it's really, there's very little you can pick in that situation when you're New Panzer. Like Reckoner, Metal, Bagel, all these maps seem to favor the TF2Easy side instead. The first bans being obviously Snake and Gully banned by TF2Easy, and then Process and Viaduct banned by New Panzer. So it was definitely a rough one in the map pool at that point. So I think picking Sunshine is probably the least bad situation for New Panzer, and it makes sense that they picked it. Bagel, obviously we've seen neither team on it. I don't think either team is great at it, but TF2Easy, they must know something I don't to pick it out on the second round there. But yeah, I think New Panzer, that it's, although we're saying like all these maps favor TF2Easy, it's just been so close all season long. Like TF2Easy have not been the kind of giant that they've been in former seasons. Every time they've played, they've seemed beatable by these lower level teams, and they will be a different beast in playoffs, it must be said. That will be a buff to them, but it's just been so close all season. New Panzer definitely have a chance, and I think even on Metalworks, we do say that like TF2Easy is the Metalworks team to beat, really, if it does go down to that decider map, but I wouldn't count New Panzer out of that one entirely still. They've shown some impressive things on Metalworks, even though, as you say, they do have these scrappy, kind of undeserved seeming, like very random close games versus teams like Forfence, but I think it should be an interesting show on some of these maps at least.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think you should discount them at all in this, these maps. I think it's going to be a very close one. I think we've shown throughout this that it's going to be a close one, but we're going to find out if it is a close one as we are starting out this game here. It's going to be TF2Easy in the blue, New Panzer in the red. Why don't you take us away, Bum?
Yep, Joe arriving a bit earlier than Nasboy at mid, but without the added health, gets the bow in now, and Josh, with an immediate send, just lands straight onto Piggles. Big damage, and Nubby's going to follow that one up with another bomb. Now Adiski trying to see if he can do anything in return onto June, but she's dodging every rocket, just jumps over each and every one that Adiski flings her way, and they will survive the mid-fight with a medic up. This is a big 100% advantage already in the first round.
Yeah, really nice movement there from June at the end there. I thought Adiski was going to get that kill for sure, as the scout couldn't quite finish him off. But June just gave him the movement there. And yeah, it's looking really good there for TF2Easy, winning that first mid out. The soldier aggression was just a little bit better there for the side of TF2Easy. Now already taking up second, so it means that New Panzer already pushed back onto this last point. They do have the pyro and a gun set up already. So they're going to be looking to try to, blast them in, make the super a little bit worse. Uber does come down from the right-hand side. The gun is going down now. Pyro doesn't really get too much to know. Looks like they want to play cat time when we're out early. It's about half the cap time taking down. Oh, nice reflect, gets 2 actually. He's going to take in the players down the cap, but Josh is just on the paint train, stood on the point, gets so much cap time they were not expecting, no one could reach it, and that is a super quick first round towards tf2easy.
Yeah, the blocks were really late from NOOBPANZER. Shockey hard committing to the pyro there, and then just not getting onto the point in time. Does get some nice funny reflect kills, but at the end of the day, they just got about 80% cap time on their first play of the cap, and then after the blocks, it really didn't take much of a tickle on the point to get it over the line. So into the second mid already after just 2 minutes of gameplay. Josh in again with a fast bomb, but he's just going to go down without much to say this time. Nubby trying to follow it up, but also going to get absorbed by the NOOBPANZER players. There's a scout running in, that's Nicky on the backlines, but he is just going to get chased down here. Everyone's managed to escape on the other side for tf2easy, so they've lost the mid fight, but they've got their medic up. It's going to be even Ubers. Nicky still on the backlines, just trolling on second here, seeing if he can deal any damage to these forward spawners. Going to take a 1v1 with a Disky here while there's already aggression into second. Puck landing on top of the demo, gets a lot of damage into Nasboy, and he's going to get followed up on by Voxy, so there is a fight, all-out brawl here on second, but there's still 2 players being brought back by Nicky. They just don't have enough presence here to continue pushing into second. Yeehor definitely doing his job of just being the annoyance factor on the backlines.
Yeah, this has been such a good play from him, actually. I don't think I can talk too much about it. It looks like they're already sending players in. Does look like it's a high bomb from a Disky going to try to go onto the medic. Gets tuned down really low. Will she pop here? It's absolutely chatting it out. Does not use. There was a Sticky super close to her as well there, but they decided not to use. There's still some presence from NOOBPANZER, but they're going to have to run it out as tf2easy comes back in. But actually, there's a force coming out here. I think Nicky was a little forgotten in the back line. They do manage to get the force out of Pickles here. So now that's going to be full Uber advantage for the side of tf2easy coming to this mid.
Yeah, well played by June, and here comes a sack from Puck, but he's already been called out. Now going in once again, landing onto June, doesn't hit that first rocket. The second one connects, but it's only 100 damage onto June, not quite enough. And yeah, as I was just saying, really nicely played on second. She manages to hold that Uber, and it kind of baits in all of NOOBPANZER because she was just so low. They full committed to it. Here comes what should be a force now. A Disky, ooh, pops her up into the air, but again, she's managing to hold on to it. They could coast to coast this now. They're taking it all the way into second. There's a trap on point that Nasboy should be worried about, as Morale actually now just standing right underneath it. When will Joe det this one? It's in the ladder. Could get 2 scouts with it here, but wow, already det, and it didn't actually manage to get anyone. So here we are in an even situation on the last instead. The gun is going up, the pyro keeping the spam off of it, but it's a very, very passive hold by NOOBPANZER. They're pretty far back, giving a lot of spam space up on top here.
Yeah, Pickles got the Uber quite late, so I think they were a little bit worried about coming up, but the bomb comes in straight away onto Pickles. Will he get forced? Doesn't seem like it. Nice rockets. Pickles gets taken down really low by Nubby there, but they cannot quite find the force here. But that was a really, really good sack attempt. Yeah, the gun's a bit passive because Pickles only just came up on the Uber by the time they started having that big spam in there. So I think maybe they're a bit worried about him getting pushed into straight away and just wanting that gun as a distraction. But they're able to move it up now, and now we have the classic Sunshine hold. It's going to be a gun. It's going to be a pyro. Yeah, we do see Nubby coming back up. He's on the man tread, so that counters the knockback from the sentry gun, which makes it a lot easier for you to move around. Voxy's just checking for the off classes, but he's not seeing anything here, so should return to this pyro here. We'll see what they've got to do here. I think all eyes on Nubby, really, to try to find something here. Which side can he get in from? Looking towards his top right here. Maybe he's going in through under. Does look like he's going to come in through under. He's a little unspotted. Gets onto the medic. Can't find that first rocket, but that's all she wrote as a Disky. Finishes him up here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Nubby just go for that again, but it's Hugo on the counterplay here, just looking for an angle in dungeon. Does find some spam, but as soon as he's spotted out, it's not worth throwing your life away there for nothing. And Nubby back up again, but this time on the sniper. We've seen him off-class time and time again, and he's very good at it. Like, I would not be surprised to see this work out. It's going to be difficult to get the drop onto Piggles with where he's playing, but you can definitely kill some combat classes, and that opens up a lot more angles for you to take. And that's why he's gone down very, very low on the top. At the same time, Nubby getting destroyed in lower, so that sniper not worth talking about at all, it seems. And this time they might have a bit of a better angle to get out. Adisky is going to opt to go for the sack, gets one rocket into June, but she's just way too far back. It's only a bit of splash damage. And this time, Nubby on Spy.
We're playing off-class roulette at this point. How many different classes can Nubby come up on before this last hold is pushed? I think they wanted to try to get Joe last place so they could bust in that left side potentially, but Disky was just too aware of it, unfortunately. And see what he's going to go for here. Is in successfully. Goes for the early uncloak onto Pickles, but actually just gets sawed down. They do manage to pick up Shocky playing a little too aggressive throughout this, so that is no engineer. Should be able to get the gun here unless Foxy can reflect every single piece of spam. Oh, a Disky going down and lower as well, and the sentry gun. This is a great opportunity for tf2easy. They're looking towards this left-hand side here with Josh. See if he can get a sack here. Maybe they just play some point time. Oh, but good stickies by Joe. It's not going to allow that straight away, but Joe might get picked out here by the scout. He does, so there's no stickies for point here, and this should be a time for tf2easy to put some good aggression forwards here. Good spam onto the soldier, going to pull him out, but the pyro is in. Who's going to win this out? Nicky gets so much cap time, they just win it out. Everyone gets pushed back from that point. They can't get someone on, and they just let Nicky get so much cap time and win that second round out from tf2easy.
Yeah, really well played by tf2easy. You just can't die on engineer on last, unfortunately, and tf2easy know exactly what the series of events they have to pull off is after they get that engineer pick. It's pretty much a free sentry kill, then they get left side for free. They can just pressure the point until the blocks come out or until the Uber is forced, and from there they just have an advantageous situation. Here they are into the next mid though, and this time it's fast from NOOBPANZER. Only a Disky lands on his mark. Puck bounces back, so they do get all of the frags on the combat classes on mid, and now Puck going forwards to try and get onto June. She's just 10 health, makes it out into lower. She must get chased down here. There's no way she's going to make it out alive. Trying to get the small kit on last. She's already being chased down, has to hit a monumental surf, but it's not going to happen. Puck finishes her off, and it's such a late medic death, 20 seconds when they're already capping up second. It's hard to see a world where this isn't 2-1 immediately.
Yeah, this should be a round towards NOOBPANZER, but we've seen stranger things happen. They need to go in fast here. They're already taking in through dungeon. Going to be on Josh straight away. He's taken down early here. There's a little bit of a gun to worry about, but they can just play point from this left-hand side here. So much cap time coming out. We do see the medic up with morale on heavy, and this is being a huge distraction as they're losing two already here, and now they lost a Dixie as well. It's just Pickles running out by himself. How did that go so wrong?
Yeah, that is a really rough one to not convert, not even having a medic up for the first part of that fight, and the full advantage not getting anything. I think they focused on the point maybe a bit too much, and those spawners and the heals were eventually able to come up and clutch it out there, but that's a really rough one for NOOBPANZER. That is by far the best opportunity they've had so far, and it might be the best one they're given for quite a while, as it's a small advantage for tf2easy, only about 20%, and they don't look like they're ready to go off it at all. They're ready to call this one even.
Yeah, I think this is the right call if you're tf2easy. Just relax. You're 2 rounds up. You need NOOBPANZER to come in and do something. See if they'll make some mistakes. See if they'll overextend people here. I think a bit of an issue on their last point there is they didn't really lock down that left spawn. This kind of allowed morale on heavy to get out full buffed when that medic dude eventually spawned. Really, they could have just got everyone in through left, but that doesn't matter because Odysseus coming in for the bomb. Can he find the air shot? And that's where he cannot, unfortunately. Takes him down reasonably low, but that's all they're going to get for now. I think that will just be them sending in a single bomb. But as I was saying before, I feel like they could have just slid more people in on that left side once they got that early Josh pick. Play that left side, killed the gun, and just sent some bombs over to help distract from the point play, but they just kind of sent people towards point in a weird different times. They were maybe a little bit, you know, out of timings there.
I don't think they know they piped June after that sack. I think Adisky only did damage to the demo man, bumping him up in the air and going for the air shot, but immediately after, June took about 100 damage. I think she just randomly caught a pipe from some Joe spam. That could have been an opportunity, but runs back and gets the health in lobby. They're just trying to tease choke here a bit, try and push some players back, maybe lining up for another sack. But tf2easy, they're not budging one bit. They are confident in this hold. They know that this is all just for show. There's really nothing going on that's a real threat in choke. They don't have to overreact to it. They can just let this all happen. Puck now bombing forwards, gets a 1v1 versus Josh, and it's going to be Joe with the stickies to clean that one up as he's knocked back against the wall. This is a great opportunity now. June low again. I don't know how. It must have been spammed by something, and the sack coming in from Hugo, but they just didn't find where June actually was. The force comes out nonetheless, as there are 3 players down now for tf2easy. Nubby in choke is just the only one fighting, still here on second. He must get cleaned up sooner rather than later. Gonna make it back into Cafe, as now they are going to be capping up second here. There are spawners for tf2easy, and they want to fight this already. They're Josh bombing forwards into second. Morale just clearing the traps as they've managed to get in. Shocky going down, the sniper going down as well, and now Nubby has the flank, and it pays off. He gets Voxy, but doesn't find the medic he was maybe looking for. But nonetheless, this is absolutely fine for tf2easy, managing to reclaim second off of very little there.
Yeah, 3 players down make this very pushable now for tf2easy if they want to. That soldier already showing his presence, and Puck is picked up by Josh here, so this will be NOOBPANZER most likely giving up mid. Joe's seeing if he can find any of those cheeky pipes, but he does not manage to there. That was looking so good for NOOBPANZER. They managed to find Nasboy out of position once they'd got that early pick on Josh, and the Uber trade was even looking slightly better for NOOBPANZER. While they couldn't chase it into last for fear of those spawners coming up, they just need to just get the Nubby pick who was behind, but with that sniper up, it just made it impossible there. They just didn't have the pressure, and the crunch from Nubby being behind just managed to let them get mid for basically free there.
Yep, we do have now everyone trying to just spam in onto second. Shocky hasn't shown himself. Weirdly, he's in the forward spawn on Pyro, and on the other side, we have Nubby on the Spy. So this is a very interesting scenario. Shocky's now back on the scout, back on last. So they are 5 players here on second still for NOOBPANZER, and the spam is coming in from the front, just trying to bide Nubby some time to go for this uncloak. But you see Hugo and Shocky playing very, very close to him. Might notice when this uncloak comes in.
Yes, it's very risky. There's 2 people up.
There it is.
Oh, here it comes, the uncloak's in. Can he get a drop? He can. Pickles goes down there. Nearly managed to pick up Joe as well. Just by the skin of his teeth does he live. But that is going to be Nubby once again getting that crucial play for his team that they need. They should just be waiting for him to come up here, or at least his spawn be a little bit closer as they're looking towards this choke inside of tf2easy. Puck is ready to go for a bomb around here, but they're baiting so hard. He's not going to manage to get anything here. And Disky comes in. Can he find any more luck? No, he cannot. It's absolutely deleted from the server by Morale here. As that pick has come in, they know that's going to be the only sec. Oh my god, those stickies get pushed nearly into June. That was very close to being a drop here, but they're taking it into Dungeon. It's a demo scout Uber is going to be coming out there. Not using for so long here, and they manage to find any picks here. Pug does go down. They are going to lose Nasboy in return though, but already got so much cap time. Voxy Heavy doesn't come out here, which is going to be a huge threat to the rest of these players here. Now in a bit of a weird position is June and Josh. They just need to try to fight this one out. They should be able to actually manage to get out here. Some nice little KZ from June onto those boxes.
Nobody hasn't been checked. Nobody hasn't been checked. Oh my goodness, Pickles nearly just walked into him. They have to check this. Nobody's taunting. Oh, if he wasn't taunting, then he picked just the wrong time, sorry, to check the corner with the third person angle. If he had been with the rocket launcher out, could have got onto Pickles there, but wow, it's just a miss in the end, and they do get Josh bombing in behind. Not going to be able to find a force onto the medic, just goes 1-for-1 with Hugo and NOOBPANZER back in control. They have mid, but it's even Ubers, and they're still 2-0 down.
Yeah, exactly here. I mean, their sacks have not been looking super promising. Obviously there's been good pressure from Joe, as you said before. Managed to get pipe in. Actually it's going to be a demo man sack in here, but June just kites onto the point here. I don't think was expecting that too much. I saw a little bit of fear in, but they decided to push on tf2easy. No stickies in this choke. It makes things a lot easier here. Soldier bombs come in from Cafe, but get nothing. Falls much earlier for tf2easy. Pagels using a lot later here. They need to have a good Uber here though. See if they can get any more picks. tf2easy already have some great positioning. Already straight back and choke. Josh goes down here. Need to be a bit careful here. This gives a bit more space for NOOBPANZER to try to get something. Already looking to get through Cafe here as they're sending a couple players. Can Nubby get a pick? No, he gets taken down here. Gets some good damage. It's going to slow things down a little bit. Disky goes in for that counter bomb. Nasboy taken down so low. What was that, 15 health?
Everyone in the combo was super low there in the red, and that's going to make them get out to last. And while it's dry situation, they can try and force the issue here. NOOBPANZER just trying to get in through up top. Nubby is still down. Puck has managed to make a lot of space. Now they can bust in through the top. This is a good opportunity for NOOBPANZER. Uber's coming up soon. Puck going down. Nasboy, though, falling on the defense. They've managed to kill a scout as well. Now they can just play the point. Josh and Nubby have to block this. They have to delay for the spawners, but it's just not enough players. And the Uber after the round as well. That's a 2-1. Finally a round on the board for NOOBPANZER. That is an impressive one to convert, considering we saw them beef the easiest situation they could have been given earlier. They really managed to make something out of nothing there and pull out the hard ones.
Yeah, just so much pressure coming out there from the demo man over the top left of Joe. That lock and load is doing absolute work this season. I don't know how I feel about this weapon coming into meta, but it is just finding people astray. But we are into our mid here. Josh goes for an early bomb, taken down quite low. Can he find any rockets into Pickles? Doesn't look like it, but that doesn't matter when Nubby comes in and actually does find that finishing rocket. Josh did manage to find that last rocket, as I was saying it. Managed to get that 50 damage or so to let Nubby get the pick. And already tf2easy backs all the way up with June. They don't need to take this midpoint. They're quite happy getting this Uber advantage, seeing if they can take back these points. But NOOBPANZER already very aggressive onto second here. They don't want to give them any space for free. So now it's on tf2easy to try to bust out here. A lot of space over this right-hand side if they want to take it here. They could take it back, they could take it lower right here, and it doesn't look like the bomb comes through from Josh. Makes a lot of space here. So many players taken down low, and Disky will go down. Shocky too low to be able to stay in here. And unfortunately, NOOBPANZER could not find anything else here. They're going to be sent straight back to mid, but with only 50% Uber, you can't help but think tf2easy is going to just push this straight into mid and potentially even into second if they get some good picks here.
Shocky has slipped in behind, and he's definitely been the playmaker for NOOBPANZER so far this season. Second was already half capped. He's able to force them to respect that, because they had so much cap time before. They didn't actually fully commit to the cap, maybe setting up for that play earlier in the round, NOOBPANZER, but that has just scared tf2easy into submission. Here they are back on second, and now NOOBPANZER able to set up any plays they want to from mid once again.
Yeah, that was a really good play. They sent 3 back on tf2easy. They were so scared of that back cap, and that just gave Piggles enough time to get that Uber, and tf2easy respected it, decided, you know what, we don't want to take a trade in this situation. We want to make sure that we go back. Hold to this second. They are still 2-1 up here, but still time in this map for things to go wrong here if you are tf2easy. So we see some aggression coming out from NOOBPANZER into this valley area. They don't really seem like they have anyone from Choke ready to bomb. There is Puck in Cafe, but I don't know if he's going to do much. They're just they're umming and ahhing. What should they do? Should they sending a high bomb from Valley? What's happening? It looks like they're abandoning this plan here, looking towards Cafe here, Bomb.
Yeah, they are just maybe trying to see if they can catch Josh out again over here. That's what they managed to do last time that gave them the advantage. Joe getting a lot of spam, but none of it very successful. Puck now jumping in from behind his players, but no damage to be found. So back to waiting game, I suppose. They're just going to wait for Puck to come back. Doesn't look like tf2easy want to counter-sack or anything, and that's probably the wise play. There's really no reason to go for it unless Piggles is like really close in choke and you know that you can get behind him. Otherwise you're just sacking into some set-up scouts with quite a lot of height. And now Puck has respawned. We'll wait to see what NOOBPANZER do with their next attempt.
Yeah, seems like everything is pretty standard here. That attempt was not bad, though. I have to say, Joe just sending over those lock and load pipes gets scarily close to June. I feel like if he connects one while that soldier bomb is going in, it could be a drop or even a force just from the fear of it. Looks like the bomb is going to come in from Valley, sending a player of Adiski in behind. It's going to probably meet Nubby here, but no, just goes for the wraparound. The bomb comes in. Can they find anything? No. They are just on anti-air control on the scouts today on tf2easy. I like that little play, though, bringing one back, taking some attention away. Maybe could have sent a double there. It might have been a little more effective for the side of NOOBPANZER, but if they do send that double, it pretty much gives tf2easy a nearly free push onto middle there. You have to either take a trade or play really passive on the side of NOOBPANZER, so they don't want to do that. So now, again, we're just going to be in this difficult position where they need to try to find some way to break this stronghold of tf2easy. And they're very known for just being really good at these holds, being very regimented in things. It does look like it might...
Shocky's just run all the way in. Doesn't actually manage to find any relevant damage, but he got in a lot deeper than he should have been able to, and maybe that lets them kind of spot a weakness somewhere. Like, those doors aren't being held well enough if Shockey's allowed to do that. And that could spark some inspiration for NOOBPANZER. That was an interesting one, but yeah, as you've been saying, everybody's had their turn, right? They sent Joe, they sent Puck, they sent Adiski, and now they sent Shockey one by one, and none of them have got any damage onto June. So we probably do need to see some kind of double come out at some point from NOOBPANZER. Or if they want to just go for a trade, but there's not really any great plays you can make off of a trade, it feels like, into Sunshine Second, as opposed to some other maps. Puck just gets caught by the trap there, trying to sink or speed shot over, and now they have a really early, really terrible use. They're not able to find the force at all. June just has 100% advantage here. They managed to pick up a Nubby on the flank, but Adiski is going to fall as well. And now this is just 100% advantage for tf2easy. Not really a successful play at all through Cafe there for NOOBPANZER. Voxy is kind of half committing to mid. Everyone else is already out, and tf2easy just going to pick this one up for free.
Yeah, that force just came out so early and so quickly for NOOBPANZER. They even lost Shockey during it and just could not get onto June at all for that force. Was sitting very pretty. Now it looks like tf2easy want to come in, so I wanted to try to slow it down, but could not manage to get anything. And I'm surprised they didn't take that trade a little later. They could have got that round reset, but all they've really allowed is tf2easy to get onto this second for pretty much free. Piggle should get it for last.
Shockey in the forwards. He's on back burner. He's behind the med. He does so much damage, but June just survives it. Doesn't manage to get that drop there, Shockey. That's the interesting play we saw him baiting for last time in the forward spawn, but it doesn't quite work. He does get one kill, and that lets NOOBPANZER bust this one out. They're trying to take the fight wherever they can, but they've just lost both soldiers, and now Piggles might get forced on the back out, and that would be tragic for them. Already it's going to be tf2easy flooding into the last, nonetheless, with no soldiers to do anything here. They do get into last. They're just going to be pressure cooking here. Morale onto point, just 2 shots. Joe down. This should be the end of the round. The trade is out, which will buy time for the soldier spawners. Nasboy very, very low. Going to need a bow from June any second now. Does get it. And now they can re-enter the fight as a 6v6. Morale onto the point once again, and that's it. tf2easy just collapse on them. NOOBPANZER, they bit off a bit more than they could chew. They thought that Shockey play was bigger than it was, and they were just baited into the trap. tf2easy, don't let them get away from it.
Yeah, that Nutsboy pick could have been really, really good there, but with those 2 soldiers going down straight away, it was just not good at all. They had too many players watching those doors. You just can't be losing your soldiers so aggressively there, especially not both of them in that sort of play here. Now they need to make something happen here. Only 6 minutes on this map time. They are 2 rounds down. The aggression is coming out straight away. They take Morale down. They take Nasboy down. But Piggles is taken down. So many players on him. June manages to even get Voxy here. It's chases down finally by Puck, who does get that medic pick. But it's looking really good for tf2easy, as there's still 3 players up here. Are going to take this mid here. That's not what NOOBPANZER wanted at all.
Yeah, everyone committed hard for June there. They managed to kill off the combo, and then they were chasing June, but it seemed like if they had given up on June at that point, she had left completely alone, and they had just focused on the rest of the players who were then kind of counter-sacking onto Piggles. They could have won that mid quite convincingly, but instead they commit forwards onto June. Obviously, Voxy dies to her even, and Piggles just gets left high and dry, and eventually tf2easy, even though June goes down, they win out this mid. There's a crits creek on Piggles now, but they're going before it's even anywhere near to up. They are just trying to take the aggression as soon as it's possible to. Nubby on the spy has been spotted out as well, and he's going to go down. Nikki, very low under the point, might just catch the spam on the way out here, does manage to juke around it, but here comes the crits creek up for Piggles. It's a very, very tiny crits advantage. They're going to need to find June with the first sticky or 2 here, as they do use it out onto Joe. First sticky is in, it goes wide, doesn't find the mark, and they have just thrown this away. June gets the Uber up now. They're going to go aggressive to try and force NOOBPANZER out. Puck has managed to sneak his way in behind in the meantime, going to get taken down. It's a 5v5 right now. Shockey already takes all the space on second, and NOOBPANZER, despite the crits not being too successful in itself, the team play off the back of it, managing to get all the space through Cafe, does work in the end, and now they have a crit sad to use, but they're just looking to go dry top left already, it seems like. Adiski in with some kind of weird sack attempt here, but not going to work out.
Yeah, an interesting play from a Discid. I think maybe not expecting that sentry to be up already, was trying to take some space on that high ground potentially, but just got knocked back here. Crits is up here. They are looking towards a dungeon here. Can they find anything from it? There's a gun already in their way, and it doesn't look like they're going to find anything. Joe's even going to go down. They lost 2 here. Foxy going down as well. This is really, really bad. The player's not even healthy enough to really hold the doors here on the side of NOOBPANZER. This is going to be them probably giving up second if they want to push out from tf2easy, but they do not. They know how to play TF2. They know there's only 4 minutes remaining of this match here. This is going to be on NOOBPANZER to try to make something happen here, and it's not looking good.
Might be the worst crits I've ever seen. Like, that's a rough one. Only finding the sentry with it, and sentries don't even take additional damage from the crits. They really had to go top left with that one. It's the only place that the sentry wasn't covering, but here come tf2easy with the Uber of their own. Puck is going to manage to force it off a bit earlier than tf2easy would have liked, and in fact, they just call it off entirely. They're not able to find anything else off the back of that. Hugo pretty much stuffing the Uber in place, and now they have absolutely nothing to go off. This could really come back to bite tf2easy. Joe now up with the crits once again. Will he be successful the third time round? Gets one onto point, but it doesn't find any damage. Another one wasted as he does find Nubby up close, but that's going to be it. They've already lost 3 elsewhere, and Josh with the bomb onto Hugo going to lock that down as well. Adiski trades it out, but it's not worth talking about. He's just dead in the water. And Piggles escapes to mid, but there's not much of a saving grace here for NOOBPANZER. They're on the disadvantage, they're 2 rounds down, and there's not much time left in the game.
They want to keep fighting this on NOOBPANZER. June on about 85% Uber here. Gonna be probably getting a 95% if NOOBPANZER can find anything here. They're just flooding in. I don't think they know that they have quite yet. Maybe a bit of a miscount. They do get the force out, but they're just going to be chasing super hard on tf2easy here, as NOOBPANZER are forced to stay in here, trying to kite for as long as they can, but they're just absolutely farming the rest of NOOBPANZER here. I don't think they think the June heads built quite that well, but they need to go for those desperation plays to try to win out this map. Only 2 minutes remaining now. I think it is just garbage time here. If I think it correctly, I just don't think it's possible to win.
Yeah, this GG's already been called by Shocky in the chat, so it seems like they agree this first map is over. The map pick of NOOBPANZER going the way of tf2easy, and we've got Bagel and Metalworks up next. It's definitely going to be an uphill battle for them from here. That last attempt into second, I mean, it was a nice try. They knew they had to get something going literally as soon as possible, and they maybe even had a chance in the fight afterwards. Piggles and Voxy managed to like sneak themselves behind, but the converge, the collapse wasn't there from the rest of the red players to bomb forwards once they were all focusing Piggles and Voxy in the backlines. Look like tf2easy will pick up another round just for the logs here, but this game is already over, my friends. It's tf2easy 1-0 to NOOBPANZER.
Yeah, I mean, they just looked really good throughout pretty much this whole map. It looks like, I don't know, I think their defense has just been stellar on the side of tf2easy. I think the amount of sacks that have come in and June has managed to somehow take 0 damage has honestly been impressive. Maybe coming back to form a little bit in these playoffs matches as June. This is a lot of what we saw last season when June was in these, you know, kind of predictable positions, but still managed to dodge things out really well. Obviously helped out very much by the scouts of Morale and Nikki to defend her, but you got to give a lot of credit where credit is due. Towards that. I also think that, I don't know how I feel about Piggle staying on Crits Creek. I feel once they know you have Crits Creek, your Crits Creek is just not going to work anymore.
I think the crits definitely had an opportunity to work, particularly on one of those last times we saw it get used into last. If they had been in pretty much any position other than the one they went through, I don't think the dungeon crits there was very successful at all. Obviously, only shooting at the sentry, but once you've shot that first sticky, as you say, that everyone can just back out and pretty much dodge the rest of the crits, or, you know, bomb onto Joe and take him down there. So you need that first sticky to not be getting used on a sentry gun. You like need to find the angle where you're immediately going to be seeing the medic, or at least someone of note that you can get a quick insta kill onto. But unfortunate, crits obviously it's been very unpopular for many years at this point, and it's kind of seen a resurgence very recently. But I think we're we're really seeing why it hasn't been used so much. You rely so much on that one first sticky, and it's so rare to hit it. Like, we've seen many, many more failed crits than we've seen successful ones in this season, and very few failed Ubers comparatively. It's I just don't think it's worth it. But when you're that far down, I suppose it's worth trying something different for NOOBPANZER.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think, coming out on it, especially, I think they had a reasonable advantage. It slowed down a little bit as June was building very well with morale. They already had 90% when their first sticky came out, but just couldn't find the connecting one. But it did allow them to play rotates really well. A lot of tf2easy aggression was just taken when they did Uber straight into Valley. And then there was just a big rotate to get some players free cafe, and it just took so much space from the tf2easy side. And that's kind of how they need to play it a little bit, I think. Maybe using it as more of a space maker for plays to come out, rather than looking for, always getting that medic drop, because that's sometimes very hard to find. But obviously, that's easier said than done, especially against a team like tf2easy, who can be so regimented and play so well. But now we're going on to Bagel, a very different map here. We were talking about how, was it one of the band's product from NOOBPANZER? Were you saying before?
Yeah, and I think that makes sense with how close we saw them play versus Witness in that last official tf2easy. That is a scary sniper to go up against, particularly if you're not used to the sniper play, which it seemed like Witness definitely wasn't. If NOOBPANZER haven't been like getting the practice in versus teams that snipe on product, then it's definitely worth that ban, I think, after you see the performance that Morale put up in that last game. But yeah, letting Bagel through is going to be risky. I definitely don't think NOOBPANZER like this map at all, and it's going to be their first time playing it in an official for both teams, so I guess it could go either way. If it's like then maybe it's kind of false confidence from scrims has been garnered by tf2easy. Maybe it's very well placed confidence. Maybe they're just going to roll over NOOBPANZER here. But when you've never tried out a map in an official, it's going to be interesting to see for both sides, definitely.
Yeah, I just don't know what to make of this. I don't know. I think tf2easy being together for a little longer, having that synergy, having, maybe a bit of a cool advantage, might just feel more confident on this map. It's so hard to say. I think, I don't know, this can either be an amazing Demo Man map or an absolutely awful Demo Man map where your demo is just constantly focused down, he can't get anything, his stickies over point are just not finding players, and it just can go all wrong here. But I think if Joe can find a really good game, it could do bits here, and I feel like that lock and load might actually be really good to the sides of the points at denying scouts who are edge capping. You find on Bagel that it's actually a lot different than how you play product. Product, a lot of the time, you play it on, obviously, it's always a get with Ubers, right? Who has Uber advantage? Who can just run over the point with Uber and invincibility for 10 seconds. But we see a lot of edge capping on this point of Bagel. Bagel caps so much faster. So you're going to see a lot more of the, force attempts being a bomb over and a scout potentially edge capping point. Because they're so worried about losing that point, having those worst spawners if they have something like that. But yeah, I think we'll see a lot more edge cap plays, and then maybe some bombs through houses potentially.
The thing about Bagel is it's not really even edge capping. Like, both teams can stand on point pretty much whenever they want to, and it's really the demo's job to lock down any place where the enemy team can just stand on point for free. But also, unlike Viaduct, where you're really trying to force off those edge cappers, if you want to block the point, you can also just kind of edge the point yourself. It's free to stand on to stop that point progress. But yeah, it definitely plays very different to Viaduct in a lot of ways, particularly the two equal flanks rather than just the one connector leads to a lot of interesting stuff going on, especially the fact that both of them see onto the point. You can pretty much hold a position, like spam anyone who wants to block the point in the way I just previously mentioned from there. And yeah, well, it's our first time watching an official on this one this season. I don't think any team really played Bagel, right? Maybe I saw it once.
I don't remember a single official on this map, actually. The only one I remember is a witness official from last season. Is the only Prem Bagel game I've watched, at least. So I'm really not sure what to expect here. I've only kind of got my own experience on this map, where it feels like, I know you got to worry about these houses. Feels like if a soldier who like doesn't watch a house and it's like uncontested, and you see the opportunity, something really bad can happen here. So yeah, it's a difficult one.
Yep. Well, I mean, I hate filling time when I have no like knowledge to fill time with. This is really just like a blank space for both of these teams. Bagel just hasn't been seen at all, but I know that NOOBPANZER aren't happy about it. I think like there's definitely some discomfort in being put onto this map for the first time in an official setting when your enemy team has picked it. Like, if it was just that both of these teams were floating Bagel because neither of them have played it and then it disappears, that's a completely different thing to you're both floating Bagel because you both think you don't want to play it, and then one team kind of surprise picks it into you. That's gotta have you feeling pretty rough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe tf2easy have managed to come up against this map a few times in scrims and have felt, reasonably good about it. And just, I would expect NOOBPANZER has not played it at all. And then when it's coming into playoffs time, and like there's less teams to scrim, there's less time to scrim a lot of the time, these teams probably have not got much opportunity to play this. So if they have, played this at all on tf2easy some previous weeks that we don't know about, I think they should definitely feel confidence in this, because coming into a fresh map that you maybe have only played in Pugs and Nixes a couple times, it's going to be a real challenge here for these teams. They've not really had time to make up their own strats, really talk about it huge much. A map talk can only do so much when you've got to play in theory here, but I mean, never discredit this team. We've seen they have some really good DM opportunities, and they've had some good rotates. And I feel that's what this map plays around a lot, is playing good rotates, seeing these good opportunities. But I have to say, the person I feel is going to do that the most is Nubby. I think he might be an absolute death merchant on this map.
Yeah, I think all the soldiers are going to have an interesting time on this map. Adiski and Puck in both of their respective LAN teams, we saw them playing some Bagel, and they're definitely not too bad at this map, but it's whether that comes together as a team. Obviously, tf2easy have just been together so much longer, and NOOBPANZER being a relatively new formation on a relatively new map, and that map not having been played in an official, it's going to be a struggle. But we're finally into the game. We can finally stop guessing and actually see the real results in front of our eyes. Obviously, tf2easy lead a map already if you've just joined us, and both teams playing this first mid very passively. No one in either house, no bombs coming forwards. Just as I say that, in comes the double from NOOBPANZER. They find the demo, they pin June up against the wall, but they don't manage to finish off the frag. Josh now in with the counter-sack, bounces Piggles into the rest of his team, and Nubby gets an easy free cleanup, and that is an advantage for June. They've capped the mid out on NOOBPANZER, but that's not enough. It's instantly going to come back in the favor of tf2easy now.
Yeah, really good from tf2easy there. June is just playing such an incredible game here. Managing to get 2 soldiers off of her. I think that first soldier didn't quite land where he wanted to, and then that second one managed to get like 3 rockets around June, but just managed to dodge and dive here. And now it is going to be NOOBPANZER trying to get in. Adiski tries to get in through that right hand side, gets denied straight away. The Uber from tf2easy comes out. It was just a force attempt, and they do manage to get that. Oh, lovely rockets by Puck takes down a Nikki, so that will be 1 player down for this next push. 15 seconds in the respawn queue. Should it just be now the rest of NOOBPANZER going forwards here? We do see a potential little forward hold here. No, it doesn't look like it too much from tf2easy. They're not committing everyone, just Nubby and Josh. But Josh, maybe a little unspotted in this main area, is going in aggressive, seeing what he can find. It's just going to find these 2 flank players here, but slowing things down. These players are not going to be super healthy coming in. Josh still in main, is undealt with. Finally, Puck manages to pick him up here, but already a minute down on the clock here for tf2easy. He's looking good for him. Second bomb comes in from Nubby. Can't find anything on it, unfortunately, here. Lose 3 overall for it, so very back and forth here for tf2easy. But June gets out here, already 80% on this Uber. It's going to be even, though, and this forward hold is decisively difficult to come out of. Sometimes looks like they want to take this right-hand side. A lot of the time where a lot of teams decide to go, it's a low ground, but it seems a little bit easier. Sticky's down early, we'll get no picks here. Now this is looking good for tf2easy. They're managing to get in. Nice rockets by Nubby onto a Disky is going to force them back here, and now we're just going to have a scrappy brawling fight here. As we were saying before, cap time already comes out, and now they need to deny it, but Ralph does get the force here, trying to find any players. They're chasing so deep here already into their main here. The players not too healthy, but they do manage to get Natboy here. Joe going down in return here, and the position just better for tf2easy there. They do manage to get Pagels. June manages to run it out into main, and that will be good for tf2easy. They're even going to manage to get this cap for it.
Yeah, just both halves of the trade seem to go tf2easy's way there. Morale in super deep, hitting shots, and on the other side, there's just not much being done by the red Uber against the unubered players, so unfortunate, and they just lose the fight on both fronts for NOOBPANZER, but they are able to do something here while Ubers are down for both sides. They've managed to take right side house, and they are just going to get rolled over by Josh in here, but they are playing the point successfully. Piggle's going down. Now everything needs to be thrown at June realistically. They are going to just get this forward positioning. Shockey's going down on the low ground. Both soldiers now in behind on lobby. Puck going to be the first one bombing forwards. Pops June into the air. She lands on the health kit, so completely safe. Once again, Joe just trying to get anything done, but 100% advantage for June, and they get the point back. This should be another convincing forward hold for tf2easy with all 6 of them down.
She just can't keep getting away with this. Just really mentioned dodge and dive, reading these players super well on tf2easy, taking down Shocky. He was trying to go for that flank early. Both soldiers came in but could not find that finishing damage in.
No.
The stats come out, but they're just not getting anything here. It's just onto Joe to try to get something, but not even a lick. Not even a lick onto the medic of tf2easy here. There's Shocky trying to go in for something, but it's not going to really get anything done here. Does get some damage at least.
Yeah, I mean, Shocky, the 4th person to go in and the 1st person to damage June. Just the soldier bombs, the demo bomb, everything she's just avoiding with ease at the moment. And the forward hold continues. Pretty easy to bust out onto lower, but will they get forced off is the real question, as Piggles now backs himself into a corner, has to use out of sheer panic. And they get the 1-for-1 soldier. They clean up Nikki behind Nubby. Also on the back lines, should be going down here, but there's 100% advantage for June. Is whether tf2easy are going to just give up the point entirely and play with it later, or if they want to kind of force the issue immediately. But yeah, I think they're choosing the wise play. They just leave a trap there. They pick up Joe with it. In fact, the demo pick is nothing to be laughed at, as now they do have the full advantage to repush in here with Shocky hiding in the corner, already gets checked out. And Adisky taking this 1v1 versus Josh on the flank is going to win it. Nick is here to pick that up and trade it out at least. And now tf2easy get the point free of charge. And they have their own charge, in fact, ready to walk this one forwards. There's only 7 seconds left on the game. They could just panic pop for no reason here and still win this one out, as Joe gets some time on the point, but the Uber is out. Piggles gets it just in time to save Voxy, but it needs to be a massive solo from the Digger here. And there's just not really anything to be found. tf2easy are all over this, and it's going to be the first round for tf2easy.
Yeah, well, the timers look, you know, reasonably close. I don't think that was a particularly close round here. They were just managing to get they were like multi-man sacking on tf2easy sometimes, but they were still just getting that force onto Piggles, and June was just running it out throughout that entire map. And they just looked really good on tf2easy, playing well around those spawners, playing well around those forces. I think they just needed to get a little more on their trades on the side of NOOBPANZER, or maybe just have some better positioning. We saw the soldiers just having so much better positioning on tf2easy. We are onto this mid here. It looks like they want to start walking early over on tf2easy. They got some good damage onto Joe here. Natboy just wanted to walk over. They have to go back though. The counter aggression from NOOBPANZER is coming out here. They are getting good cap time here. Will tf2easy come back into block? It does look like they will, but Scout's on a point here, and this is where it gets difficult here. Bomb comes in from the left house, can't get onto Bagels. He's taking down Solo, finally finish him up with a nice shot by Morale, but that was all Nubby there, taking down Piggles, and that's the problem with not watching that house. As soon as you don't watch that house and one player gets in and manages to get onto your medic that easily, it's all over here. And now, while they will get the first cap on the side of NOOBPANZER, it will be the first Uber going towards tf2easy. We'll see what they want to do with it, if they want to go aggressive here. Joe looking like he just wants to plow over here, but tf2easy are ready for it. Disky goes down, Park goes down, Joe goes down. It's a massacre, and June was just hiding the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just too obvious for tf2easy. They know immediately to back up once they see that first red player coming in, and that has got to be a traumatizing mid-fight for NOOBPANZER. 148 damage done by Nubby, and on 99%, Piggles just gets chipped by the scattergun across the entire map and just manages to lose out that Uber that he could have so quickly had. And obviously from there, tf2easy managed to take the mid. They're using this Uber forwards, but they don't manage to catch Piggles. Now he's going to have a full advantage of his own. They've only actually managed to catch the demo with this Uber, so pretty unsuccessful from tf2easy, and they've left topside completely uncovered as they 6-man collapsed onto lower there. So NOOBPANZER in with a chance here. They do manage to get out the top side, but the bombs are in from Josh and Nubby. Also in the flank is Nicky, but he's going to get taken down very easily, and Josh on the wrap is going to lose his life as well. So not too great from tf2easy at the end of that mid-fight to actually capitalize off it and get some decent time off the board. They're a minute knocked off here, but NOOBPANZER now in control of the point and with the Uber advantage and the forward hold.
Yeah, I have to say it was a really good attempt there by Josh. He got 2 players down ridiculously low. Joe only just got away with his life, was rolling out through main, got met by Josh. He did manage to take down a Disky as well, I believe, during that. But it looks like the counter-aggression is going to come up on the side of NOOBPANZER. They want to give them a taste of their own medicine, just walking into them aggressively. This Uber ad, however, they do lose puck for it, so it gives tf2easy a bit more of an advantage here to try to walk in, but no. Nubby goes down. They're just going to back out on tf2easy, and now it's looking pretty decent for NOOBPANZER. They're playing it so aggressive onto this right-hand side, want to get this early force in, and that's what they're going to get. June does get forced out by a Disky, will lose his life for it, but it looks like the rest of NOOBPANZER playing it super far back, and they still have point, they still have Uber. This is really, really nice for them.
Yeah, they weren't even playing it that far back. They had 3 players who could have convincingly died when that Uber got used out, but 2 of them managed to escape. Only a Disky going down, but Piggles has to kite that really, really far back and kind of drops a lot of players from the Josh aggression. The rest of tf2easy walking over the point in the meantime, and now Puck with the counter sack just going to lose his life there. Piggles still keeping this Uber in the bank, but they don't have as many players as tf2easy do. They could just lose out a team fight here or get forced off pretty easily, but instead they're going to be taking the aggression to them. tf2easy have to run away from this Voxy solo once again, and they are going to get out pretty successfully. Now the advantage in their hands. Voxy only finds 1 with the Uber, and they're already getting cap time on the point. Voxy trying to block it, Shocky as well. Joe, everyone's just piling onto the point, but they're so low. They do manage to sneak the point away for tf2easy, and they have their Uber up now. Morale ready to take a deep one. Does run in, manages to find Joe, but he's going straight past them. Wants to get Piggles instead. They do just find Joe in the end, and there's the flank
Yeah,
of NOOBPANZER
two in
behind.
the back line. They're hiding in this house. Nicky's going to maybe find his death here. Does find those 2 players. Can they get out that pick? Nasboy taken down low as well here, but they are going to manage to pick up. Only Nicky going down. Morale manages to clean things up here. So it's actually going to be pretty good for tf2easy here. It's going to be very difficult for NOOBPANZER to try to find an opening with 2 of their players down. They look like they want to try to go in still. Are on this right-hand side. Has been working out pretty well for him. Want to take space into this right house. Find a soldier. Do have to use so much damage coming out, and he's still not even going down here.
Yikes, that is not the Uber you want. That is really, really terrible for NOOBPANZER, and they do manage to sneak the point, but that's all they're going to get, and the point's not even going to be capped for a single second, really, as in comes the bomb from Puck, just trying to find some aggression onto June. They commit everyone to the point. This Uber could be massive, and it is! They bomb forwards, and Piggles just gets caught in it. Immediately killed by Nasboy, and there we go. It's a white. tf2easy only have a Disky to find on the back lines, and he's not going to get much done with just 100 health. Bombing in now. June gets so much distance between herself and the bomb, and there's no damage to be found. Once again, it's the Kritzkrieg for Piggles, just trying to find any way back into this game.
Yeah, they need to get something happening here. Otherwise, this is going to be 2 rounds to 0. 30 seconds left on the clock for both teams here. They need to try to find something happening here. Looking towards this right-hand side, seeing if they can find anything. Need to be careful, people in his house. Puck and a Disky once again going down so early. This feels like this is a recurring theme. These players going down way too early. Shocky loses his life as well. Piggles, Dice and Nicky as well here. So that's not even going to be them getting a crit streak up during this game. Now June has full Uber advantage. You can't help but think with 10 seconds remaining, this is going to be the end of this round for NOOBPANZER.
Yeah, but NOOBPANZER, they seem to be coming into their element a bit more as time comes on, I suppose, with the exception being that the dreadful Uber that they got forced off with in-house just then, but things are getting closer at least, but this game is just looking dominant for tf2easy. Voxy is last chance saloon, but gets taken down, and tf2easy secure the second round once again. They are now 2-0 up, and it needs to be all or nothing from now on. They are match point here now. NOOBPANZER, they need to find all 3 rounds in a row here and then win it out on Metalworks. This is a struggle. This is a sheer cliff they have to climb.
Yeah, one thing I saw from NOOBPANZER is they're never too sure if they want to use it aggressively. Felt like the sacks of tf2easy, like when they did come in, were getting too many of the other players other than Piggles, and they just didn't have great refights, and they just let June get Uber, and by that time you can't really fight anymore. NOOBPANZER wasn't even getting the point, so I think they need to try to play a little more aggressively with their slight Uber advantages here to try to get onto these players. But we'll see if they want to change anything up on the mids here. It has looked like tf2easy taking the aggression first on these last 2 mids. We do see an early bomb by Puck here. Can he manage to find anything here? He can't. Gets good damage, but Joe going down as well is really bad. There's going to be no one to block point here. And I think that's going to be maybe the first cap towards NOOBPANZER, but I don't think it will be the first mid. But no, they want to keep blocking. They don't fear this. Uber comes out. Can they get onto anything here? June does eventually get forced out here, but it's going to have to be the rest of them just running back on the side of NOOBPANZER. Do get about 30 seconds on the clock, so that's nothing to scoff at, but they can't lose players here. They need to get healthy, and they need to reset here.
Yeah, there is a flank play in the works from Shocky, and they're just edging the cap in the meantime. Lots of cap, and they do actually manage to steal it away, but it won't be for long once again as 2 casualties for the red team. Morale running this forward. He wants to make it more. Nubby also bombing into the backlines, and they are caught between a rock and a hard place here. Piggle's going to go down on a very late death, and there we go. Wiped once again. tf2easy very, very dominant, and they have this big 70% advantage. Going to be even longer by the time Piggles spawns, and this forward hold has been devastating to NOOBPANZER throughout the game. They always manage to break out of it, but you know, tf2easy are like playing the forward hold properly. That you don't commit to a forward hold to just hold them in there for as much of the round as possible. You let them out eventually, you let them get back to point, but it's still even by the time it's back to point, and all that time is getting run down bit by bit. Shocky on the spy. It seems they know about him. Yeah, they've just caught that out as well. So pretty much the one play they had going for them, NOOBPANZER, has been thwarted already. Morale just needs to win a 1v1 versus a revolver, which is easier said than done, clearly, but Puck in with the sack, also going to go down. Shocky's just going to go back to spawn and get on a more useful class. Here comes the Uber. Morale seems to have called for it, but there's a bit too much distance. They're able to get out safe and sound. That might be a misplay for tf2easy that allows NOOBPANZER back into the round.
Yeah, this should definitely be the opportunity that they need from NOOBPANZER. They're already charging straight in. They need to be careful of Nubby.
Oh, the drop of Bagel!
Oh no!
That is with the trap. The trap actually got blasted into him, I believe, by one of his friendly players, and that just... That sound is the downfall of NOOBPANZER here. That's got to be it. The full wipe off the back of that. What a devastating trap. Nasboy finds the game-changing kill. And, yeah, once again, we're just back where we started. tf2easy able to pin them in the spawn for as long as they want here with the advantage.
That is absolutely tragic here. That was the opportunity they needed on NOOBPANZER. Now they're just trying to struggle in here. The player's taken down so low, so much damage coming out. They will lose a Disky and Foxy straight away. They're going to lose Puck as well. And they're just nowhere near anyone here. They have to just run out once more on the side of NOOBPANZER. While this is happening, the clock is just ticking down slowly but surely. 50 seconds remaining. June has this full Uber. Some miracle plays need to happen here. They need to get onto June, and they need to lose no one, or only lose 1 or 2, and have that final fight go the way of NOOBPANZER here. But can they make anything happen? They're taking it so slowly, so carefully,
They
getting
need
buffed
these
up here.
Ubers out the way instantly. They are 30 seconds away from being handed a bronze medal here in the Winter Showdown. They're trying to take this Uber forwards. Here comes the trade now. Voxy versus Morale. Morale's finding some players to split it onto, but Voxy's just finding nothing. Everyone has now scattered across the entire map. They're so deep on the NOOBPANZER side. They're managing to kill players in enemy lobby, but can they get back towards point? That's where all the tf2easy players are winning their fights right now, and with no time on point now, Adiski just landing on top of it. Joe manages to take down Nubby. The bomb is forwards from Puck, manages to pick up a kill as well. And they are going to get the cap here. They are going to live just a little longer, but how much longer for NOOBPANZER? This fight is still not all said and done. Joe getting taken down just by some chip at the very end of that from Nikki. And again, June with the Uber advantage. This is such an uphill battle.
Yeah, you know when they say you had to walk to school both ways uphill. This has been this game for NOOBPANZER. Something goes right, and then something just instantly goes wrong for them here. They cannot get a break here. tf2easy just playing this so well, just keeping their medic alive so much more time. And Disney getting 2 nice picks though, but it doesn't matter when Josh just gave him more. Boy will clean it out, and that will be a 3-0 dominant game towards tf2easy. And I think that was the reason they picked that map, because they just looked amazing on that. Morale had an absolute showing.
Yeah, there was a lot of trades where the Morale solo just diffed the Voxy solo. There was a lot of failed bombs where they just couldn't find any damage onto the wanted target, and NOOBPANZER just didn't really seem to ever get into that game the way they did in the regular season. So tf2easy definitely, they're peaking at the right time. It wasn't the best season for them, but they've made it into playoffs, and now they are looking confident. And of course, once again, they have booked the EU Classic. tf2easy versus Witness will be our finals later today at 21 CEST, so make sure you're there for that at 9.
Yeah, and by looking at the tf2easy Witness game in season, it was a close one. I don't know how I managed to miss this game and haven't watched it, but just looking at the score lines, 4-3 on Product and 3-2 to Witness, might be a very winnable game for tf2easy. Obviously, we saw them at Arcadia in that best of 5 in November, just managing to bring it all the way. Well, Witness did win it out to become your European champions in that land. They obviously made it a close one. So if tf2easy are feeling themselves, and they obviously are in these games, June in form could be the big factor to them just
June
winning
got the
out.
perfect game. A big 0 on the deaths column. That is massive, and that definitely had so much impact on the game. It felt like every second I was looking up to check the Ubers on the sidebar, June was always in control with the advantage. And getting 0 deaths on a Koth map, very, very impressive, especially with how much they were throwing at her. She just managed to live through everything.
Yeah, just had an amazing game. Definitely back to form. We were talking a little earlier how she'd been struggling a little this season, but obviously something has changed in this team. There's been a bit of a mentality change coming in here. Maybe they've done some demo reviews. Maybe they've seen some things, had some of their communication issues fixed, but they've just been looking so good in June. Just look at that, Ubers. 4 more Ubers is just so decisive at this level of TF2. It's just going to make such a huge difference. And 0 deaths, obviously, is going to really help out there. But yeah, I think that was just...
always having a player who can heal and overheal and make invincible all the rest of the players on the server. That's kind of an advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think it was a bit of a medic protection diff, potentially. Maybe just positioning, just really struggled on Piggles, just constantly getting bombed and finished up when he shouldn't have. It was so tragic because sometimes, man, they just seemed like they were really good at sending people behind on TF2easy when those Ubers had ended, getting someone in through main, getting someone in through left side to be behind Piggles when he was trying to leave. He just couldn't do anything. And, obviously not always his fault. There was just so much better aggression on the side of TF2easy. Maybe we see that in the finals there. I won't be surprised if they want to try to pull out that map on tf2easy after they look so good on it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how confident Witness are on Bagel. I don't believe I've seen that from them either, so I don't know whether that will make it into the final, but it's definitely going to be a talking point now. And at least it's making them think about it in the veto, showing that strong of a Bagel on match day for the grand finals. it's, a bit of mind games for the veto at the very least, whether or not it does get picked or not in the end. But I think tf2easy have definitely showed they are the better team today. They've peaked at the right time in the season. Obviously, it's always going to be messy when you've got two players changed out at the start of the season for your roster, and tf2easy were definitely looking like they could get beaten by anyone in the earlier half of this season. But this was a pretty flawless gameplay today, especially by the combo. June obviously getting the 0 deaths in the second map, very few deaths in the first as well. So if there was ever a time to peak, it's now, and that's going to be looking good for them for the final. And of course, commiserations to NOOBPANZER, did incredibly well to get second seed coming out of their first season together in the regular season. Didn't make it happen in the end, but there were some very impressive performances from all the players on NOOBPANZER this season, particularly Shocky and Piggles making a name for themselves once again, and for the first time, I suppose, respectively. Shocky coming back to form for a lot of those games, and Piggles being a really impressive medic, getting his name out there for being, one of the top makes in Prem.
Yeah, and I mean, losing to TF2Easy is it's not something you should be too depressed about. This team, so many high place medals. I think season 36 they got first place, and then I think I've been unfortunately in second place jail since season 40. So a very hard team to be against. But we'll see if TF2Easy can make a return to form. See if they can get that first place for the first time in 8 seasons, nearly 3 years. Should be an exciting one. Just make sure to tune into that. Should it be 21 here on Team Fortress TV.
Yep. So make sure you're there for that. We will be having the full works for the game tonight. We've got the analyst desk and everything. So if you want to hear what Dmul has to say, the only player to make Witness lose a season within the last year, you can come and find out what he has to say about these two teams, and obviously the super exciting final as well. So see you guys later at 21 CEST. Make sure you set an alarm. And it's goodbye from me and goodbye from Beta and not Steven.